Leap of Fate podcast fans. Welcome to this week's episode with yours truly, Randy Silver. If you're on YouTube, you can see I am live. I'm here by myself doing this. This is a solo episode. If you're an OG Leap of Fate fan from when it was just audio days, you know that I used to do solo episodes every now and then to make sure I could speak to you, more loyal fans. I've had some groundbreaking things happen in my life this year, and something big just happened again. I thought it was necessary to keep you on this journey that I am on, to share this with you with no guest. We had Sean come on in episode, let's see what episode that was. It was episode 42, where I talked about how I got a job off of Clubhouse. That was in March. So this week's episode is going to be about an update on my life, Randy Silver. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Here we go. I recently got let go from that job I got 3 months ago as a CRO. I'm finishing up the work, but all intents and purposes, I am no longer the CEO at the company. So I want to sit here and talk to you about what happened, how the job went, why I got let go, what I learned, and keep you informed with my life. In addition, the second half of the episode, we're going to do a recap of Leap of Fate and talk about what we've talked about since the start of the year. Keep you guys informed. I like to just make sure we hit the big topics because we've had a lot of stuff happen and come through here. So this week's episode is going to be about what happened to me, how did I lose my job, and where did it go wrong, and what are the lessons. So without further ado, before we get into it, I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much. Law fans, you guys give me so much amazing feedback. Thank you for everything you guys tell me. Thank you for all the Facebook comments, all the Instagram comments, all the TikTok comments, all the likes, all the follows, the subscribes. Thank you so much. You keep me pushing. I look forward to creating all the videos, all the vlogs, all the YouTubes, doing all the podcasts. This is my passion. I really love it. And this is going to be part of the story I'm going to talk about as I move forward. So if you're listening on any podcast streaming app, Spotify, Apple, Pandora, iHeartRadio, if you're on the YouTube, thank you so much. Please rate, please like, please subscribe. It helps me grow the fans, grow the audience. I know if you're listening, you really like this content. People come up to me and always tell me they really like what I'm doing. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. So this is going to be a little bit hard. It's hard to talk about yourself sometimes, especially when there's the highs of the highs and the lows of the lows. My podcast is all about positivity, all about the right message, and I bring people on who have been successful. And it would be disingenuous to myself, disingenuous to you, my listening audience, and my loyal audience, if I didn't talk about what happened and me not being successful in this new role I had. Because it's a learning experience, and there needs to be both sides. People talk about the road's not going to be easy. There's going to be bumps in the road. And I hit a divot. Let's not even call it a divot. I went through this divot. I have a big hole, and I need to dig myself out of it now. And let's tell you about it. So let me give you the recap again. In the episode with Sean, Clubhouse, by the way, shout out Wear Apparel. Please go check him out. I'm wearing it right now. Great shirt. Sean was the moderator, and we talked about how I was on the app Clubhouse, and I met the CEO, whose name will be nameless for the purpose of this conversation. We'll just call him John. I met John, and he was getting into an e-commerce company called Neat A/B Testing. John went ahead and bought the company, and he was looking for someone to head their sales department. So John reached out to me and said, "Hey, Randy, I like what you're talking about in Clubhouse. I would love for you to interview to become the CRO." What did I do to become the CRO? Before I came over this position, I was at Cisco for 5-6 years. I started out as a sales development rep and then led teams in America, North America, Americas, global, senior level, all from SMB to enterprise. So I had a lot of good experience. I am only 28, but I had done a lot in my short career so far. And he wanted someone who was young, who was hungry, who was passionate, and eager to be a go-getter. I feel like I fit all those categories. We had a great interview process. I created a go-to-market presentation for him. I interviewed with other people and signed the dotted line, became the CRO of the company. So I started that March 1st. Now, this is where we're going to get a little bit deeper. I'm going to give you some inner workings of how the company works in a startup. The startup wasn't, Series A, Series B, Series C. Bootstrap, off the ground, bare minimum. So they gave me options. As a C-level executive, which I was, you can take a higher salary, higher commission, or they gave me the option of take a lower salary, lower commission, but acquire more equity quicker. So why is that important? I want to talk about this for a second. I could take higher salary and higher commission, so I get more tangible cash in my wallet whenever paycheck day happens. However, when the company is brand new and you don't have a lot of funding, you're hurt for some money, it's not the most efficient. You want to be able to use that money in other places, such as marketing efforts and maybe acquiring a third person to help you with sales, being able to do it in hiring onboarding specialists. So I made a decision which was best for the company is give me less base, give me less salary, and let me acquire equity quicker. Why would I want equity quicker? Because say that company's ever bought for 3 million, 30 million, 300 million, the more equity I have, the bigger payout I get. So I wasn't going to say get more equity. The equity stake I was getting was double digits over the course of my lifetime contract. But by taking a smaller base to begin with, I was getting more equity quicker. So say something happened, God forbid, the company fell, then it didn't matter at that point. Or I was going to get let go, foreshadowing, then I had that equity in my pocket. I will obviously, of course, would have the cash, but having the equity in my pocket, I will have the rest of my life. I'll never go. Luckily, I am financially stable. I'm financially independent. I do a good part. I've talked about it in the stock type of conversations and the adult get your shit together conversations, in the housing market conversations we've had on this podcast. I'm financially strong and independent from what I've been able to achieve. So it did not hurt my bottom line in my day-to-day living to be able to take a higher equity stake to begin with less pay. So we set that up. So what did I do? So, onboarding, I live in San Diego. The CMO lives in Boston. John, the CEO, lives in Virginia. Someone else lives in Virginia as well. And we had the CTO who lives in Vegas. So we're all remote. It was a great opportunity to kind of bootstrap a company. What did I do as CRO? I helped implement a lot of different projects in the company. The first part was, what are the morals of the company? What are the mission of the company? What do we want to be? How do we want to be known as? So my hashtag is one team, one dream. I believe in one team, one dream. Everybody's a part of the mission. Everyone's a part of the values. And if you're not going to be able to be successful, it's not because of one person, it's the whole team. So we need to make sure, for me, the big core value was one team, one dream. We had to talk about hiring practices. We had to talk about how do we want to structure the team? Do we need more marketing people? Do we need more sales people? Do we need more computer people, IT people, things like that? So we start to structure the team, and we did this, in the first 2 weeks. Once we had everything settled down, it's like, okay, what tools do we need? Do we have a CRM like a Salesforce? We use Close. What email service do we have? We had something called Hotmail, Fastmail, and we had to move to Gmail. So what does that take? Usually at a big corporation like Cisco, you have IT people who do it for you. We didn't have the opportunity here. I'm going to take a drink of water 1 second. So we had to do things like that. And then in terms of marketing, what's the brand? What's the design? What's the logo? What do we want people to know us for? What's our customer values? All this goes into it. As a brand new company, these are the things you have to think about. Luckily, we weren't brand new where it was a new tool no one used. The company had been around for 3-4 years, and John, the CEO, had just bought it. So there was a customer base. So my first task as CRO was reach out to all customers, reach out to all former customers, reach out to all trials, and reach out to all former trials. Why is that important? Because we need to understand what's working with the product, what's not working with the product, and understand then how do we need to develop the product farther? What are the things and wishes that they want? In the terms of customers, how do they interact with the product as a salesperson? How can I help them? Do we need onboarding? Do we need to teach them? Do we need to create PDFs for them to be able to do it themselves? How-to videos, all that goes with it. So, what's my job as the only salesperson company? Got to make cold calls. Got to make emails. And again, the reason why I'm giving you all this is because this is setting up the story of why I ended up getting let go from the company. So I did all this for the first month. I was making 100 cold calls a day, if not more, 100 cold emails a day, if not more. And I was setting up 10 meetings a week for the first 4 weeks, just absolutely crushing it. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. Absolutely crushing it. All these people were loving to meet with us, had been a self-service product this whole time. They loved the human touch. And we got a lot of insights, which I'm going to talk about in a couple minutes, that plays in the part. Once I was done with that project, now we're end of March. Now we're in April. We need to get leads coming in. I wasn't allowed to do any outbound, so marketing needed to get leads. But we're having a tough time getting leads. Our accounts were frozen, which is not a good sign whatsoever. It wasn't because of funding, it wasn't because of money, but a small company, if you spell something wrong, like your account's frozen and because they don't recognize it. Small company, people are going to go to the bigger companies that they know and work for. How do you get your name out there? How do you get your brand out there? So we were getting leads, fair enough, but it wasn't enough then for me to be able to have something going on day after day, day after day, where I felt busy all day. So I went to my CEO and I told him, hey, John, I feel like I'm being underutilized here. This is what I'm doing. This is how long it takes me. And this is the value I'm providing, but there's so much more I could provide. So I had to be transparent with him. Again, he only knows what he knows, especially when we're remote. We're not in the office together. He can't see it. So I had to tell him I needed more work. And a lot of people probably would have just sat there and be like, ha, 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 I'm getting paid to do nothing. Let's go. Nah, man, that's not who I am. Like, I really enjoy working. I enjoy the value, the mission, and creating what we're creating. So, I wanted to be a part of it, and I needed to be a part of it to be successful. Because, again, I'm getting more equity, not pay. So I need this company to take off so that way I can get my payday. So then we put myself on the project of partners and trying to grow the brand that way in different agencies. So how do you get yourself out there to almost like affiliate marketing, where you can work with other different companies who will provide you clients, and then vice versa, you provide them clients back. So how did I do that? I got provided a list. I went through LinkedIn and found the correct contacts by typing the company, searching people who work there, and I emailed them, went to their websites, and got a bunch of meetings to speak with agencies. We had great conversations with them. It went really well. But again, we had some findings that were not beneficial to me because of things out of my control. So I'm doing everything I can to be successful. I'm making the cold calls, making the emails, I'm getting the meetings. But now we're going to get to the climax, just so you guys, I can move the story forward, was we found 3 things, which is all detrimental to me as the only salesperson. 1, the product was not mature as we thought it would be. We needed more features to be able to compete in the market. Need A/B testing is great for small, medium businesses, maybe mid-market enterprises. But if we really wanted to go after enterprise, those big e-commerce companies, we needed more features because we were going to lose every time to the competitors in that market. How do you get more features? You need to hire people to do it. Hire an engineering team based in India if you could go offshore, or hire an engineering team based in the US. The CEO had a great contact with people he worked for before in India. So he's like, hey, I got this team in India. We're going to build these features out. What has happened in India the past 3 months? If you've been following the news, they've been wrecked by the coronavirus. Side note, I hope you guys are all safe and sound wherever you are, staying healthy. So, wrecked, just absolutely wrecked. What does that mean? Nobody was able to work. Most of the team that was going to work for us got coronavirus, or the family did. And so they had to shut down 3+ months. It's that bad. It's really, really sad. And what's the downfall is, I'm sure a lot of businesses like us who relied or were having people work from India fell behind. So the features we needed to get built, then I as a salesperson could go market out to people and acquire more customers or keep more customers, they weren't there. So step 1, couldn't move forward. Step 2, what did we find? Or number 2, excuse me. We thought going into the company that it was going to be a very handheld touch, as from a human to human touch. And from my learnings of getting meetings with all these customers and everyone we spoke to, we found out that actually it's the opposite. These e-commerce merchants in this space really like it being a non-human touch. They just wanted PDFs. They just wanted videos. that would talk to them and show them, hey, this is what you do. And then if they needed help, they reach questions. So for me, for a salesperson, it's a one conversation. I give them the resources, or they can find it online when we provide them, and they don't need me. So if I'm a CRO and I'm supposed to be closing deals and doing all this, and I don't have the ability to move people through the funnel because it's actually all a hands-off approach, then I become a bit expendable in that sense. And that's not the hypothesis that we had going into this business. So that was something is like, okay, that's why I'm not as busy, is because I don't need to really help these people through the conversation. It's very self-serve. And then number 3, as I talked about earlier, was we weren't getting a lot of marketing leads and wasn't going up to the lead we need. And I shouldn't say that. Again, I know there's a debate, sales versus marketing, thing like that. But if I'm not allowed to do outbound, and the CMO, he's an awesome person, we're good friends, like I really like it, but we weren't getting enough leads. So I wasn't able to suffice to be able to do my job. When I first started, all those, 1,000 people that we've worked with in the past or in some capacity gives me plenty to work on. But once all those are touched, I can't go back to the same people and say the same stuff. I need net new. And I wasn't getting it. So those 3 combined hurt me as a salesperson. And the net result was the CEO, John, sat me down and said, hey, Randy, I spoke to the investors. I spoke to the other partners in the company, and we decided that we're not ready for a sales organization. AKA, we're not ready for a salesperson to do what they need to do for sales. We need to let you go. Tough. I've been only at the company for 3 months. I was at Cisco, a big corporation, 70,000, 80 people. Lack of a better term, a cush job. Corporate life, the backing, the insurance, the safety. And I took a risk. And it failed. And when I heard that, hey, Randy, we're going to let you go, it hurt. It's a sucker punch. There's no way around it. You take big risks for high rewards, or you take big risk and you don't reward yourself, and now you're in a hole, and I'm now in a hole. It hurt. How do I go back to my parents and tell them, hey, I failed? How do I go to my friends and say, hey, I failed? How do I go to a future employer and say, I failed? It's tough. And I know that I didn't fail. I did everything I could. And the CEO's words to me were, you worked yourself out of a job. I've never said that to somebody before, but you did such a good job. You did everything we needed and more. But we just don't have anything for you to do. And we can't afford to keep you on. If I'm a C-level executive, I'm not going to say numbers because fair enough, but, you get paid C-level money. And when the company is a small company and you need to cut costs and save money where you can, and you look at your investment every 3 months, it's like, is this worth it? Is this not? Do we need this person? Do we not? I become expendable, because then you have an extra 10, 20, 30,000, whatever it is, per month to use in other resources or keep in the bank in case you need it, because my duty is not there. If I'm sitting on my thumbs all day, if I'm sitting there not being able to do what I need to do as a salesperson, or there's not stuff for me to do, then I become expendable. So I get it. From a business perspective, I absolutely get it. I am not hurt he made a decision. If I was in his shoes, I would have made the same decision. And it's big of me and mature of me to say that, because a lot of people would have been like, why me, whatnot. From a personal decision, I can understand that people will be like, he did you wrong. He convinced you to leave this company, to go somewhere else. But I made my own decision. I make my own risk. And I understand going into this job, the risk that I was going to take by having to stand up a sales org, stand up a customer success org with nothing. And there could be a chance of this going. With that risk is why I took I took the higher equity to start, because who knew in 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, maybe I would have to get let go. It wasn't working. Or maybe I didn't even like the company. I didn't like what I was doing. So I didn't want to be here anymore. So I knew the risk, and I could tell he was broken up about it. When we had the conversation, he's a great guy. We're really good friends. We have so much interest. Like, I truly, truly appreciate him giving me this opportunity to be in this where I was as a C-level suite. It just didn't work out. And there's multiple ways that someone could leave a company. And he's making sure I leave the company in a great light. So this is what's happening now. I already have equity in the company. Again, I took lower base, higher equity. So I'm staying on as an advisor to the company, and I'm going to help out as needed. And I'll be part of the quarterly meetings, the investor meetings, things like that, because I'm still one of the largest shareholders in the company now. So it's important for me to have a company success, because if this company still ends up getting bought and I'm not around, I get paid. So I want to be here for the company to be successful, because their success truly is my success. So I'm staying on as an advisor. Now, even if I went out kicking and screaming and created a fuss, he can't take that equity away from me. So the fact that I'm going out in a very mature light and we're doing this correctly only helps me. If I went out in a bad way, like, I would still be part of it, but like, that's just not who I am. And you guys who follow me know I'm not. The other thing he's doing as well is, and we're going to get a little bit specific here as well, is when you get let go from a company based off of a stock package as well, there's many different things that happen. And it's a matter of, how do you buy the stock? Do you have to pay taxes on it and everything? And in my contract, it said if I was ever let go from the company, I had 90 days to have to exercise my stock options to be able to keep it. Based off the amount of stock I have, and what that would mean is I would have to pay a six-figure tax fund. Six-figure. I'm going to scary say this. I apologize. Sorry, I'm doing one take here, y'all. You know, this is a live podcast, so let me redo this. I would have to pay a six-figure tax sum if I exercise my options in the next 90 days. I'm going to be transparently honest. I don't have six figures in tangible cash money to be able to pay off taxes like that. So I couldn't do that. He is being such a homie and such a good person. And because I'm staying on as an advisor, he's rewriting my stock option contract to be broken out to a 10-year grant, meaning I have now 10 years to exercise those stocks options. If we get bought within those 10 years, then I automatically get it regardless. It doesn't matter. If we hit year 9 and the company hasn't got bought yet, I can decide based off of the company performance, is it worth me exercising those options and paying the taxes, or is it not? So he didn't have to do that. He's looking out for my best interest because he knows that I wouldn't be able to financially afford to pay the taxes as now. And the 10 years gives me runway to see how the options are going. I'm going to take a pause break for you guys 1 second, drink a cup of water. So I hope that makes sense. The other thing he's doing as well is he's giving me an amazing cover letter. He's giving me amazing references. He's reached out to multiple recruiters I've already spoke with. He's reached out to multiple people in his network I've already spoke with. So he's really doing a good job at trying to help enable me and enable my success moving forward at a new company or whatever I decide what I want to do with my life. So that is the update. Is I am currently still the CRO until the end of June. You know, I'm still doing my job. I'm finishing up on the last stuff I've had going on, taking those last meetings, helping out. To everybody at Neat A/B Testing, if you're listening to this, thank you so much for the opportunity. You guys are family to me. Love everything we've gone through, and I appreciate it. But in all intents and purposes, if you crack it down, I have been fired from the company in terms of being the CRO, and I have been let go. As a result, I have failed. And we talk about this on Leap of Faith. There's bump in the roads. There's going to be highs. There's going to be lows. But you got to persevere. And I think it's a blessing that this has happened to me because I only look at the positivity. This is a learning lesson for me. I'm 28, as I said. I had the opportunity to take a risk on a high risk, high reward type of job. And it didn't work. Say I was 40, 45, had 3 kids, wife, family. I now have to figure out insurance. I have to figure out all this other stuff that goes along with it. So I'm going to be okay. Emotionally, I'm fine. You know, I threw myself a pity party the day it happened. Yeah. Day after, went out with a couple friends, you know, like bought a couple drinks and was like, hey, you'll be fine. You're good. You're a bright young lad. You'll be fine. Believe in yourself, leap of faith, Mamba mentality. You'll be fine. All that goes with it. So that's why I wanted to share that with you guys. That's why I'm doing a solo episode, because I think it's really important to talk about this. I'm sure all of y'all in your life have dealt with adversity. If that to be is you got let go from a job, if that to be is you didn't get a good grade in school, if that to be is something XYZ happened to you, how do you deal with that adversity? I'm going through adversity smiling. I'm going through it with the right mindset. I'm going through it with the ability to know that I'm a catch. I work my ass off, whatever I'm trying to do. I'm successful at whatever I try to do normally. But fair enough, I was successful here. It just didn't work out. The company, they're not ready. And whoever gets me next or whatever it's I do next, I'm going to be successful. So with that being said, now let's transition over to what am I doing to be successful moving forward? You know, like I said, I gave myself a couple days to just relax. Gave myself a couple days to deal with the mental because, you know, fair enough. It's going to be in your head a bit and you're going to be like, why me? What happened to me? What could I have done different? So I really wanted to make sure I was ready to go. First thing I did, update the resume. I sent it off to a couple people. If you're listening and you got it, my cousin Scott, my dad, a couple other people, shout out. Thank you so much for helping me out with the resume, making sure it's all good, dot the I's, cross the T's, spell check, things like that. And I've gone to job websites. I've gone on to Indeed. I've gone on to ZipRecruiter. I've gone into LinkedIn Jobs. I've gone into my network and reached out to people. And I've tried my best to say, hey, what's out there? Can I get a C-level suite position again if I've only been there for 3 months? Do I even have that on my resume because it's so short? Do I want to go back to Cisco and be with all the people I love back there? Do I want to go back to a big corporation? Do I want to go back to a small corporation? Do I want to do medium size? Do I want to be an entrepreneur and start my own company? Do I want to focus on Leap of Fate full time and see if I can really make money out of this and have it be a full-time podcaster, YouTube content, all that goes with it? There's so many options. I'm blessed to have those options because it means I've been successful in what I'm doing. And I wouldn't have the option to be here with y'all today if you guys weren't listening to me. If I didn't have people coming out to me on every episode saying you did this so well, you're helping me out, I would not be doing this today. Because I know this message, even if one person is feeling like I felt the past couple of weeks, and it's going to resonate with you. I was so scared to make this. And I was like, I don't want to do it. But I knew I had to. And seriously, like I really wanted to because I'm all open. I'm all transparent. I'm all about being positivity and the truth. And it's important to share this message. So all week, past last week as well, I've been interviewing with places. I've been putting my resume out there. I've been trying to talk to recruiters. I'll keep you up to date on how it goes and what's going on. But that's the update on myself, Randy, with what is happening. I'm keeping that Mamba mentality. I'm keeping that leap of faith, and we're going to go ahead and move forward. So with that being said, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to give you guys a little teaser video for the next vlog coming out, which is on Wednesday, and then we're going to talk about leap of faith. So we'll be right back. What up, fam? We're about to go on an adventure. We're going on a boat, islands around Cancun, the whole Gulf area. Gonna have some fun. Can't wait. Let's kick it.
All my conscience gone. Yeah, at the store, on the corner of my road. Yeah, I could've took the boat. Yeah, I could've took the boat.
Okay, y'all. We're now back. So we're gonna do a quick recap on the leap of faith and what we've gone over. It's been a while actually since we've done this type of stuff. So if you remember, and especially I know there's been a lot of new fans since I've gone to YouTube, so thank you so much. If you haven't gone back and watched some episodes, I just kind of want to talk about everything. You know, I first started in, the first episode came out in May 2025. Let me re-say that. The first episode came out May 25th, 2020, and it was with Sean Leventon, Aware Apparel. He's been our most featured person on this. We're still staying up to date with Aware Apparel. When something big happens again with Aware, we'll bring him back on. So that's been really good. People really like the 101 series. The Stock Market 101. People like the Adulting 101. We did Real Estate 101. We did Entrepreneurship 101. Insurance 101. So it's been really, really successful to see those. Those are probably the episodes when I go back and look at the stats that people still listen to or new people come back and listen to. So I love to see it. People are also loving the entrepreneurship episodes and kind of the passion projects. And that takes us back to like kind of where this has gone. When I first started here, it was more storytelling and talking about key themes. Now I think we've really transitioned Leap of Fate to talking more about your goals, overcoming adversity, what you can do to be successful. And a lot of those do tend to be more like starting your own business. But at the same time, we've had other stuff come on. So since we did the recap of episode 25, we've had We're the Silvers, episode 26, my family and I. 27, Taylor Holt came on for a 2-part episode. Taylor, shout out, girl. How you doing? And she talked about how she became a holistic health coach for people. And we talked about nutrition and how you can have the right mind, body, and soul to be healthy for yourself, for your family, and what you can do to make sure you have the right practices from working from home or the right practices to make sure that you stay mentally fit. We had Deary Dari come on where it was about professional chefs. And I've actually got a couple requests coming on about having a chef come on to talk about recipes and whatnot. So we'll have that coming in a couple weeks as well. We talked about Deuces 2022, to Deuces of 2020. We did the stock market outlook, which you guys really liked. That was a high viewed one. And then we really got into what was the key themes of 2021 we done is how can you better yourself? We did career confidence coaching with Julia Wench. Shout out Julia. That was amazing. It talked about steps you can take to take your control in your own path and how you can make sure that you get your dreams become your reality. We talked about how to start a podcast in 2021. That was also the first YouTube video I came out with, and that was highly receptive. I'm still getting people commenting on that, so I'm glad you guys like that. If you have any questions around podcasting, reach out to me. I do mentor people, so happy to help you with that. We got Sean back on. Then we had Dean Fox come on the end of January to talk about life challenges, and he talked about overcoming suicidal thoughts and depression that he had. Very powerful episode. People really like that. Something that is hard to talk about, and I appreciate Dean coming on and being open about it. After that, we had the professor of perseverance, Dr. James Perdue. Shout out James, come on. He talked about becoming a quadriplegic at 19 years old and the adversity that he's faced his whole life since then of not being able to really use his feet, how he's been able to live his life, and he's been a champion for special needs throughout that, and he's been fantastic over it. To continue forward, we had Noah Ronan come on, talk about the immigrant story and some of the adversity she faced as an immigrant coming over from Israel to America and trying to make a life out here. Shout out Noah. Then we had Sabura Sardana come on, talk about being a great people leader. For anybody out there who wants to be a manager, a talent leader, anything like that, he gave some great keys on how to be a people leader. He's a COO at a global corporation, so he's having to deal with people and problems that may bubble up or leading organization day after day. And so we had a really good conversation there. So if you would love to be a good manager, he gives amazing tips on that one. My noisy cancer comeback with Fitz Kohler. Shout out Fitz. This was probably one of my favorite people who come on. She talked about how she overcame cancer. She still lived her life as a marathon announcer and how she had her family and kids and made sure that they were always super supportive for her and they were there for her. She really showed Mamba mentality through that. That was an amazing episode to go watch. Tax season with Juana Brown, all the tax secrets you need to know. So that was really important. Go do your taxes. Of course, it's over at this point. Karen Lubsanf came on. What's like being a woman CEO. So again, how do you be a people leader? What does it take to lead an organization, especially as a woman? What are some of the workplace discrimination she has felt, which is not okay. Do not discriminate ever based off of gender, sexuality, mindness, physical features, religion, whatever it is. We're all one nation. We're all one world. So let's be together. And that was a really good conversation. Then we got to the Clubhouse episode I just talked about. Special guest, Papa Silver. Shout out my dad, Dana. Talked about insurance. Not the most glamorous subject, but you need to have disability insurance. You need to have life insurance. You need to have home insurance, all this type of stuff to protect you, your assets, your family. You never know what's going to happen. Like myself, I got let go. Thankfully, I have some of the backing that helps me get through it until I get my next job. To finish up, then we had Lindsay Locke come on. Shout out Lindsay, one of my best girlfriends here in San Diego. She talked about getting psyched and the mental stress, mental mentality that you need to be successful in whatever you're doing. That was really well-responded episode from people as well. Then we kind of got more into the entrepreneur mindset with some people that have come on since. Katie Louise, recording artist. She talked about being that struggling artist, moving to LA, trying to make it big. If you have been following her since, she's starting to do some shows that she talked about. So it's really good to see, one, things open back up, two, live music and all that goes with it. So great to see her doing well. Denise Ropp came on episode 46 with Integrated Wellness. This was talking about how you can live a great mindset, healthy life, mind, body, soul, different practices, especially as we've all been stuck in quarantine. What are some tips you can take, especially mindfulness and meditation, to be successful? Then Victoria Wick. This one was a highly commented episode as well. People like this, episode 47. Shout out Victoria. She talked about how she turned herself from an immigrant from Asia, where her didn't even speak English when she was super young with her family, to owning a $500 million plus business of jewelry under her own name, Victoria Wick Jewelry. She really embodies entrepreneurship spirit. She's amazing. I still talk to her today as a friend and a mentor. She gives me amazing advice, and she's really something special. If you have any idea or you want an idea of how you can start your own business and make money off yourself, or anything in business in general, she's the episode to go listen to. She gave amazing advice. Then we had personal finance, how to budget and save money with Cameron Ross came on. We talked about how you can make sure that you're not spending too much money on your daily, weekly budget. How do you make sure to go ahead and save your paycheck? You're not spending money on stuff you don't need. We talked about cryptocurrency and all that goes with it. Because of that episode, a lot of people said, hey, can you make a cryptocurrency episode? Next week, you heard it here first. We have my friend Colin Thompson. He is a world-renowned cryptocurrency expert. He's created multiple different types of cryptocurrency. He came on. I'm editing it right now. And then we're going to talk about everything around blockchain, cryptocurrency, when to invest, how to invest, all that goes with it. So that's going to be a good episode for y'all. Then we move to Autograph, famous DJs and producers. Shout out Mikhail and Lewis. Thank you so much for coming on. Probably the biggest names per se who have come on the podcast, world-renowned DJs. They talked about how they just went for it and they made it happen. It was really cool to hear their stories around Coachella, touring, music festivals, what they've done through quarantine when you can't play music, in front of live concerts. They're starting to tour again, so really excited to see them. But if you have anything around music and you love DJs, listen to that episode. Then we got Global Disasters with David Dodd. This one touched the heart. If you remember episode 50, David talked about being at Hurricane Katrina, talked about being at Fukushima and helping with the recovery efforts, talking about being in third world countries and helping with the recovery efforts, talking about losing his leg because of bacterial infection he got, helping with recovery efforts. So he's seen a lot. The pictures that went with it and the podcast were hard to see, these pictures and what he showed and what he talked about. You could feel the love, the passion, and the agony that he's dealt with because of what he saw. Really, really powerful stuff. So if you have anything you like global events, that's the episode for you. Then we had two back-to-back entrepreneurs, QVC TV host Michelle Lau at 51 and 52, Tonya De Cosmo from Power. They talked about, being women in power, how they may have felt some prejudice, but they just did it in a male environment. They made their own thing happen. Michelle is a TVC host. She's legally blind. So how is she on TV looking at these small gems, being able to talk about it and get people to sell it? Unbelievable story. Really fun conversation. Really good smile and laugh. Enjoy that one. And then Tonya talked about starting her own business, her own company, overcoming a male-dominated workforce to make her dreams a reality. So again, another really good entrepreneur story and great just sound bites there that will help you move forward with whatever you want. And it takes us to the final episode before this one, episode 53, the Gem Goddess, YouTube star entrepreneur. Shout out, Gem Goddess. Thank you so much for coming on. This was my best episode performing to date. Absolutely crushed in the premiere. 200 plus people watched in the first 4 hours. Obviously, what changed? She has a massive following on YouTube, 740,000 people. She's got a massive following on Instagram, 60,000 people. She was able to publish it to her audience, and I mean that so much. Thank you so much. People loved it. They absolutely love the behind the scenes of seeing the Gem Goddess, what she does, how she did it, how she got there. I created a corresponding vlog video, which you can see right here, that went with it as well. So people really enjoyed that, to see the behind the scenes of what her house looks like, how she creates what she does. So that was good. And also just in general, her message was amazing, and talking about just going for it, how she went from one to something to what she's at today and created this whole YouTube amazing business. And from that, she was able to branch out to create an e-commerce website through Shopify and other businesses. So to everyone who's come on so far, thank you so much. And people I didn't name, the first 24, thank you. Now this takes us to, what is Leap of Fate moving to in the future? I love this. I have so much fun with Leap of Fate. I have so much fun talking to you, my audience. I have so much fun talking to you, my audience. Talking to my audience, if you're just listening audio, thank you so much. Again, please do rate, like, subscribe. It means so much to me. It really helps me. This is my passion, and I want to turn this side hobby passion into my business. I don't know how. And half the people I bring on, it's almost like I'm learning for myself, like I'm sure you are, of how do I incorporate their lessons in life to my life. I don't make money off of Leap of Fate. I don't have enough viewers on YouTube or subscribers or hours. I don't have advertisers. You guys don't hear it. So I don't make money off of this. This is a side passion, side project, but I want this to be my full time eventually. I don't know how. I want to keep growing the audience and hope they'll get some advertisers, marketing, thing like that. But also some of the jobs I'm trying to go after now, because I'm free, is around podcasting. If I can go work for a corporation and run their podcast, or I can go work for a corporation or get my podcast under their umbrella and help grow the brand that way. So I will stay with Leap of Fate till I ride and die. You can hold me to it, knock on wood. It's something that I enjoy week over week. It's a way for me to be de-stressed from the day at work, from the day trying to interview places. If I can't hang out with friends on a Saturday night because I need to make sure I get the podcast episode down, I'm here for you guys. And I know all this hard work, if I change one person's life, I'm able to help one person be successful, then I'm successful. So that's where we're at. What do I have coming down the line for you all? Like I said, we're going to do cryptocurrency. I'm having one of my high school friends, Zach Weiss, come on in a couple of weeks as well. Professional baseball player. He made it to MLB. Did not work out the way he thought. He's about to play for Israel in the Olympics. He's in the minor leagues right now. And then we'll have a lot more coming around YouTube, entrepreneurship, life lessons. We'll get the stock market back in. We're going to do an NFT episode as well. If you guys have any episodes you want me to really do, please reach out to me. Let me know if there's a subject you want to hear. I'll find the subject matter. If you want to come on and tell your story, please let me know as well. We'd love to make sure that we get you on if it fits the matter that we're trying to get after and talk about it. Woo! That's an episode for y'all. A lot of talking. I know it's tough to just listen to one voice 24/7, so I appreciate you staying with me if you're still here at this point. The Leap of Fate is Randy Silver. Randy Silver is the Leap of Fate. You, Loft family, are there for me. Loft family, I'm there for you. One day I want to get Loft merchandise, like this picture right here. You could get some really cool designs with LOF, Loft. My last name is Silver, so like periodic table. There's so much you could do with it in due time. But with the time we have left today, I just want to say thank you again to everybody. To recap, I got to let go. I am not a part of Need AB in the terms of a CEO anymore. I'm staying on as an advisor, but the 3 months I had there, I enjoyed so much. It did not work out, but I'm just keeping my head up. You should keep your head up, whatever verse you take. Use it as a learning lesson. Now I know moving forward the types of questions to ask when I go into a job interview. If it's this type of company, I know what to look out for. I know how to do contract. I learned so much about business and starting something from the ground up. So it's a great, great opportunity. I'm looking forward to the next one. La fam, say it with me. Stay healthy. Stay wealthy. Have a good week, fans. Deuces. Love y'all. Thank you for the support and love. And I know people would reach out to me after this episode. So thank you so much for all the love and support you're about to give me. This meant a lot to be able to do this. It was soothing to do this. And I love you guys so much. Bye.